Hi, my name is Judy Cummins, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about what I've learned in speech class. Well, I have to be honest, when my advisor told me that I'd be taking a speech class, I had a lot of things going through my head. Great and wonderful were not on that list, but I am glad that I took this class. I've learned to give better speeches, and I have learned a lot. What did we learn? Well, we learned about listening. We listen to obtain information, to understand, to enjoy, and to learn. But it's been proven that we only retain about 25 to 50% of what we actually hear. There's three basic modes. There's competitive listening, when you are interested in getting your point of view across and your side out. Passive listening, when we hear and we are knowing that we are listening. But active listening is when we are listening and understanding. That's the most important one. I think it's important to be a listener even when you're giving a speech. Your audience puts off body movements and facials and hands. These are things that will let you know whether you're giving out too much information, too many facts, or if they're staying right with you and understanding everything that you're trying to tell them. Speakers can hinder the listening of an audience as well by using too low a voice, speaking too complex, too many facts, getting lost and having to hunt, no body language at all, sitting there like a stiff and not moving, their paper right in their face, moving too much, back and forth, around in circles. Kind of makes you seasick. There's a lot of different types of speeches. There's an acceptance speech. This is when you received an award or you've been promoted or something like that. There's a presentation speech. This is when you give something to someone. A demonstration. This is a how-to speech, how to do something. Information speech is when you're giving them information about an object, a subject, or something of that effect. A presentation, a persuasive or motivation speech. This is when you're trying to convince them of your side of the topic. Also, you can use this type of speech to motivate a group before they go out and do their job, a team before they go out and play. Special event speeches. This is like holidays, weddings, funerals, after dinner speeches, that type of thing. We learn to set goals of what we want our audience to hear and know. From those goals, we made an outline. The outline allowed our speeches to flow more evenly. We learned that you need to do research on your subject. Even if you know this about the information, you need to research it a little bit more. It is great to give personal experience, but be able to back them up with true facts. That way people know that you're not just giving them a line of bull. A good speaker is not only researching their information, but they also research their audience. It's nice to know who you're going to be speaking to. If you're going to do a history speech, say, on a certain time in history, if you're going to speak to a group of history majors, you wouldn't have to bring them up to that time frame for them to understand what you're discussing. If you're going to speak to a group of youth, you might have to bring them up in history to understand where that time frame is, or back in history to get them in that time frame. So, by knowing your audience, what type of audience, it makes it just a little bit easier to do your speech. Don't make your speech long and dry. Add a little humor. Even if you have to do a funeral speech, give something humorous that the person you're talking about has done. Speeches are not fun and jokes, though. They are for a purpose. So make sure you're getting your facts. Use your body language and facials to keep your speech alive. We also talked about leadership. The person that authority that is the bossy one that tells everybody in the group what to do. A participation is a person is when the leader participates and works right alongside of you. Delegate is when the leader says, okay, I'll do this and you do that. And together we'll put it together and it'll come out fine. Personally, I think it takes a combination. I'm not big on being bossy type person. I'm not big on working with bossy people. I like to work with the people that I'm working with, but I like to delegate. I think a true leader knows where the gifts are in their group and able to use those groups. Maybe someone doesn't have a knack of speaking, but they're great at artwork and doing graphs and stuff. So you could use these people to do your visual aids and someone else to do the speaking. Through this class, I now feel that I am better able to give speeches, along with the ones in the class that I've given 3 others in the area since class started. I have been more at ease in doing each of them. I'm going to give my thanks to Professor Stout, and I look forward to having more classes with my fellow classmates. Good luck in your schooling.